Rainollon here. Today is another build showcase and it's the Zylok Prime. So let us immediately start. There are two builds I'm going to show you today, so let's start with the first one. The first build is the Multishot build. The mods I'm using on my Multishot build: Pistol, Pestilence, Toxin stash chance, Frostbite, Cold and stash chance. Cold and Toxin gives you viral and also a lot of stash chance. Prime Heated Charge, a lot of heat. Lethal Torrent, Fire Rate and Multishot. Prime Target Cracker, critical damage. Galvanized Diffusion, Multishot. Galvanized Crosshair, critical chance while aiming. And Galvanized Shot, stash chance and direct damage per status on target. For the Exos Weapon Adapted slot mods, I will maybe recommend something like Steady Hands, but personally I will not recommend anything. There's nothing here that is good for this weapon. For the Arcane Secondary Deadhead is easily, for me personally, by far the best in slot. Easy access to 360, Headshot Multiplier and Weapon Recall. All these stats are really good for this weapon, so I highly recommend. For the stats, Fire Rate is fine for this weapon type, 12 magazine size, which is okayish. Reload is very fast, very high accuracy, duplex system like Tigris. Riven Display is horrible, I will not recommend. Critical chance is really good, crit multi is good, stash chance is really good, and the base damage is good. All of these stats overall are really good for this weapon. For the Incarnon form, it turns from a duplex burst weapon to a charged AoE explosion. So Punch 2 doesn't work, it has 12 charges. And it has higher critical chance, higher crit damage, higher stash chance, and higher overall total damage. And it also explodes in a 6-meter radius, doing also pretty solid damage, and has the exact same stats. So yeah, that's the Incarnon form, the base form. Both forms are pretty solid, I will say. So those are the stats, the mods, the Arcane. Time for me to show you in game. So I'm going to now spawn level 200 Steel Path or Computer Group dudes. I'm not going to use any buffs or armor strip, just raw damage from the weapon itself. Spawn those guys in, wait for the butchers to come out, shoot the butchers in the head to get the deadhead stacks. So as you can see, the damage on this thing, immediately it just destroys. That's a heavy gunner, dies in like 2 hits. Bombard in 1 hit. Like, the base form is quite powerful. Now the Incarnon, and you just hold your left click, and yeah, it's pretty powerful as well. Let me just now respawn the enemies, spawn the heavy gunners at least, to show you how much damage it does to a heavy gunner. So charge shot, one shot's the heavy gunner. Bombards as well. Regular units also die. The AoE does pretty solid damage, and procs are really powerful heat proc. And yeah, this weapon is quite powerful. Both the base form and the Incarnon form are really good. Now I'm going to show you the second build. The second build is slightly different, so it's time for me to show you. The mods I'm using on the second build, which is called the Acuity setup, and the mods I'm using, pretty much the exact same elemental mods for viral and stash chance. I removed Galvanized Diffusion, but I added Pistol Acuity. Pistol Acuity, what it does is gives you weak point damage and weak point critical chance, but Multishot cannot be modified, so that's why Galvanized Diffusion is gone. And I'm not using Lethal Torrent, I'm using Gunslinger, which gives you a lot of fire rate. And I also removed, if I remember correctly, Prime Heated Charge for Primed Pistol Gambit. Gives you also a lot of critical chance. So I have a lot of critical chance. I'm going to shoot really fast and do a lot of damage. And pretty much everything else here is identical. So time for me to show you this build. I'm going to yet again spawn level 200 Steel Path or Computer Group dudes. No buffs or armor strip. Spawn them in, wait for the butchers to come out. Shoot the butchers in the head to get the deadhead stacks. You can see I'm immediately doing red crits and millions of red crits. 1 million damage right there. 3 million damage. This is also yet again no buffs or armor strip, just raw damage, and it's still one-shotting bombards, 2-tapping heavy gunners. And yeah, this is also a really powerful setup. I will recommend. You can easily make both builds work and test them out yourself. Now I'm going to spawn yet again the enemies. I'm going to turn my weapon from the base form to Incarnon form. Hold, release, and you can see that I'm chunking 6 million damage. Nearly 2 million there. Whole red crit. Really satisfying, powerful. And yeah, it's powerful. Both builds are really good. And I will recommend the Multishot over the Acuity setup. It's much more easy to use, and it's, for me personally, more satisfying. And the last thing I have to show you is the evolutions I use. And the evolutions I use, the second evolution increases your base damage by 30, and on reload from empty, increase your base critical damage multiplier by plus 1x, stacks up 2 times, and this is permanent. So just start the mission, shoot a couple of times, reload, shoot a couple of times, reload, and you have 2x all the time, which is quite powerful. Third evolution plus 60% accuracy and negative 60 weapon recall. This plus Deadhead, you have 100% weapon recall, which you remove recoil entirely, and also fixes accuracy completely. And the weapon is pretty much like a sniper, really accurate and does a lot of damage. And fourth evolution increases your base critical chance by 30. I think this is maybe the largest critical chance evolution in the entire game right now. 30 base. I don't believe any other Incarnon has this, close to this. And yeah, this is quite good. Makes the weapon from a heavy status to a hybrid. And yeah, it's really good. The evolutions are really good on this weapon. The weapon itself just is quite good. Both builds are really good. And both the base form and the Incarnon form are really good. And yeah, I will highly recommend the Zylok. It's quite good, I will say. So yeah, that's the Zylok Prime. 2 builds. I hope you enjoy the builds. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.